Penguin Random House Audio presents The Splendor Before the Dark, a novel of the Emperor Nero, by Margaret George. Read for you by Steve West, Katharine Mcewan, and Susan Denaker. 1. Nero. I awoke in the milky dawn, that opalescent hour outside time. For an instant, I did not know where I was. Thus it must feel to be newborn, unclaimed. A sweet breeze was stealing across me as I lay quietly. A sea breeze. I was on a shore somewhere. I raised my head, and at once I was back in the world I knew. I was at Antium. I was in my villa bedroom that opened out onto the sea itself. In the stillness, I arose and left Poppaea sleeping, her lips curved in a smile as she dreamed of something pleasurable. Pleasurable. Our stay here in Antium had been pleasurable. Far enough from Rome to put thoughts of it aside, to live secluded here by the sea, for a brief time. Quietly I walked over to the window and pushed back the filmy curtains. The horizon outside was white, making it impossible to see where the sky ended and the sea began. A pale moon was sinking, caught in the clouds. Last night it had been bright, penetrating, high. Now, still full but setting, it faded and became indistinct. Last night. How exultant I had been, performing at last my epic on the fall of Troy, on the stage here. The hard work of composing it had taken over a year, but with a furious burst the last few days, and now it had shown its face to the world, and I had all the joy of an artist who has birthed a creation after a very long labour. It was fitting that it had taken place here in Antium, where I myself had been born 26 years ago, and after a likewise long and difficult labour, for I had been born feet first, an evil omen, some said. At the same time there had been other favourable omens, so which to heed? Clearly the favourable ones had prevailed, for I had been emperor now for 9 years, having assumed the purple at an absurdly young age. There had been significant achievements in my reign already, most notably a peace settlement with Poppaea, our historic enemy, achieved finally through diplomacy rather than arms. I had gifted the city of Rome with magnificent baths, a theatre, and a covered market, and I had instituted engineering works that improved harbours and aimed to protect shipping routes. What I most wanted, though, was to give Rome the greatest gift of all, a conversion to the Greek sensibilities and aesthetics. That was much harder than building buildings and digging canals, but it was coming. I knew it. The audience last night was proof of that. Many people had travelled from Rome to hear me perform on the cithara. It is a virtuoso instrument from Greece. Apollo himself played it. Yes, their eyes would be opened, and they would learn to embrace these cultural treasures. I looked fondly at my cithara, now propped up against the wall, resting from its labours last night. It was, of course, the finest that could be made, and I had the finest instructor, Terpnus, who had borne with me and taught me patiently. I was always reluctant to leave him behind in Rome, and knowing I was returning to him made it easier to go back. Rome. In the growing light, I saw the message cylinders resting on the table. They had been delivered yesterday, sent by my trusted right-hand man and Praetorian prefect, Tigellinus. But I could not bring myself to look at them then. The day was too perfect to spoil with petty business about import duties, or aqueduct repairs, or cart traffic in the city. If you imagine that everything an emperor has to deal with is lofty and critical, I can assure you that it is not. It is 100 tax questions to one diplomatic treaty or one war strategy decision. I would look at the messages a little later. I had to. But this morning would be for relaxation and for planning the inevitable return to Rome. I had retreated here to escape the hot days in the city, but duty required me to preside over the Feriae Augusti in 2 weeks, the celebration beginning on August 1st, that culminated on the 13th, 14th, and 15th, commemorating Roman victories over Dalmatia, Actium, and Egypt. As the celebrations featured horse races,
Sample complete. Ready to continue?